in Lynnwood, Washington, just north of Seattle at Advanced Dental Solutions, Doctors Lynn and son Nguyen. And we wanted to show this project for the fact that it's in a strip mall location and on a budget. We wanted to show that it doesn't have to feel like that. We wanted to show this project for a couple of reasons. It's a strip mall location, and it's a budget project. So we wanted to show what can be done in that type of a setting. Typically in strip malls, just the nature of how they're divided up, they tend to be long, narrow, almost bowling alley-like spaces, and subsequently very clinical in nature, clinical feeling. We didn't want to have that in this case. So we've got a few tricks up our sleeves on how to make them not feel that way, tilting some of the ceilings and soffits, and doing a curved corridor, which actually the only thing curved are the soffits and the flooring. Everything else is straight lines. Doesn't cost anything to measure the ceiling heights at different heights to get a tilted ceiling effect, or do a slight curve in the corridor. It just makes it feel a lot better. Plus, it helps in sound attenuation. Anything we can do to make the sound not reverberate back and forth between reflective surfaces is always good, and curves are a good way to do that. An example of a multi-purpose room that we'll often plan. We try to put as much glass into it to make it not feel claustrophobic or captivating to the patient. This room is for discussing financial arrangements, treatment plans, maybe difficult discussions with employees or collection calls and such. Well, I'm sitting in front of a kids' cave that we oftentimes will put in where we just kind of call it a child containment area. It just lets the kids kind of be off in their own little area. We've got a short door that's less than 4 feet high. They know it's for them, so it acts like a magnet for children to come in and play in there, and without disrupting anybody else in the waiting room. We oftentimes will do that just to break up the space as well. It gives us another opportunity to break up a otherwise boxy room that would just have sound waves bouncing around it. Again, it's the small details like that don't cost a lot that can really make the space come alive. We put in a ledge where we've got a plant stand basically with just a quarter round piece of granite that then we mirror on two sides, and when you're standing in front of it, it looks like there's a big brown table standing there. So when people come in and they see details like that, they kind of stop and look at that, question it a little bit. So what happened right there? Their brain is now not thinking about what the dentist is going to do to them or relieves their anxiety, and they're thinking about something else. Even if it's for a couple seconds, it takes their mind off of things. Their palms dry up, they're not as sweaty, and they're less anxious about being here. Well, fortunately we had enough room to where we could give it a nice, long, graceful kind of a curve. It just takes away that, like I said, that bowling alley effect. We planned it in such a way that they started out with 4 operatories. We've got the capability of 9, one of those being enclosed for privacy or people who really don't want to be on view of anybody else. So we built it with the idea of growth in mind. Oftentimes when we have a dead-end corridor, it ends up being a long tunnel-like effect. You know, we just kind of wanted to find a way to make that not feel like just a long dead-end corridor. So we added just a simple piece of extra layer of sheetrock. We cut it in a curvilinear fashion where it just kind of gives some interest to it. Again, it's the small details like that don't cost a lot. The thing I want to point out too is they had already spent money on their corporate identity package, meaning their business cards, letterhead, logo, and all that stuff. Didn't really want to spend money to recreate that or recolor it, so when I looked at it, I said, I can work around those colors, no problem. That's how we came up with the whole unified package.